Okay, so firstly, Lily, remind me, how long have you been a coach at this point?
So it's coming up about 6 years now from being a coach. Yeah,
Okay.
just before lockdown, I'd qualified. So
How
well,
was
and I was
that
pregnant.
with lockdown for you? Were you one of the ones that meant that you were in the gym and the gym got shut down, or did you just miss it?
So I was actually training people outside. I wasn't even in a gym, so in like parks originally, and then in lockdown, it actually really benefited me because I set up Zoom classes online for free. And I did 3 classes a day and just did a donation to the NHS. And then once the restrictions got lifted, everyone sort of knew the name, and I got quite a lot of clients off the back of it.
Wow, that's sick. Okay, so in terms of fast forward to now, let's say it's April 2025. What has been your record income month so far as a fitness coach?
So far would be November. I hit nearly 8K in that month. Just under, which was wild. But it was Black Friday. Did so much stuff that I've never done before. Part of the November challenge. Yeah, lots of stuff in that month, and yeah, got me the best income month.
Okay, and tell me more about the like what were the changes? Because you said you did so much. Let's look at how you were running the business before we started working together to what you've done since November, December, January, February, March, right through to April. Let's talk about your approach to the business. So, because I feel like when we first spoke, like respectfully, you're doing a lot of the classic mistakes of undercharging and whether it was like selling in the DMs or not selling at the prices you could. What's been one of the biggest shifts you've made since kind of leveling up in your business?
So before I joined, I wasn't really coaching online. I had one client online. I used, a coaching app to coach face to face. So I was spending hours on the gym floor, like on the hour, sometimes 8, 9 clients a day, like back to back. Um, I just didn't have any clients online. So since joining, I've made the shift from I think, well, all of my clients now are online, and they just do in-person sessions as well as in the gym. So yeah, when I first joined, I had only one client.
Why do you think that is? So what's changed? Like, if you look at what you were doing then to what you're doing now, what's different? Is it that you were you just not asking them about online, or was it just not
Yeah,
part of the conversation? Or
I didn't know I didn't know how to have the conversation. I didn't know how to promote it. I just didn't know anything at that point, really. I wasn't putting it on my Instagram page. My Instagram was solely for my own training and my clients' training face to face. I don't think I even really mentioned online before joining.
okay, and in terms of your business now. What's the motivation for being online? Because give people an idea of, do you have kids? Do you have other commitments? For me, going online was very much about knowing I was going to have a family one day. I feel like for you, it's having a family, but maybe tell the guys a bit about you.
Yeah, so I'm a single parent. I've got a little girl. She's 9, and I was just working every hour, and even taking her to work with me at weekends. And yeah, I was spending time with her, but I needed to free up some more time. And also, being a single parent, I've got a house to run on my own, and I just physically didn't have enough any more hours in the day to earn any more money. So I had to do something. So now being online has free like I have definitely cut some hours in the gym now. And actually my clients have seen better results since coaching them online than in person because they are training more rather than just the hour with me. They're actually doing the sessions and doing all the things that they need to do in between. And like the transformations from my clients have been like incredible since joining.
Sick. So, because I feel like a lot of PTs who, I don't know if it's ego or they're just idiots at times who are like, it's like sometimes they're really like smug about like I'm a PT and I'm not one of these online coaches. And I don't know, sometimes I think I get this vibe that PTs think that online coaching is just about we're all trying to get famous and it's just we're all trying to get rich. But it's like as you've just proven, your clients are getting better results. Um, what do you think it's through like additional accountability? Like, how do you think they're benefiting?
So a lot of my clients at the beginning were only going into the gym if they were with me because they didn't have the confidence to train on their own.
Right.
So being online means that, I mean, I do all my workout plans. I've got video demos that they can follow. They can log all their workouts on there. I coach them through their nutrition and like a bit of lifestyle coaching as well. Help them plan their weeks if it's someone that's getting like overwhelmed. So I spend more time with them being online than just that hour session. And they're doing everything, which means that they are seeing better results.
Okay. And from going online, obviously we know that we're at the end of the month and we're putting in a shift to hit some numbers now. Great hitting 7, 8K months and building your business. How many clients do you have total currently?
I just signed two more, so 30
So,
currently.
so
Yeah.
say you've got 30 clients right now. Um, that's all like the upside. Let's talk about some of the challenges. How have you found putting yourself out there on social media? And have you experienced any challenges around sharing more of your personal stuff as well as mixing that in with being a coach? Like, what has that been like for you on social media?
Yeah, I mean, when I first joined, I'd never even talked in front of people or on a camera. It's just not something I'd done. The November challenge helped because as part of it, I was doing podcasts all of a sudden and Instagram lives and talking videos. And at the beginning, I was so nervous, but now it's got to the point where I just do it and post it and just don't even watch it back. So that my confidence has massively grown. But it is always hard because you are talking about your own personal life and you're being vulnerable, and you're always going to get people that troll your social media and they've always got, things to say, but you just have to be a bit tough with it and just ignore it. And I do post a bit about, like people can say that you're an influencer, but I'm also setting an example for my daughter and teaching people that they need to eat properly and look after themselves. So it's influencing her as well. It's not just, you know, yeah,
Yeah, there's more to it than just getting clients and getting likes, and it's about being a role model.
yeah,
And I see that in your content, obviously. And there'll be people listening to this. I get a lot of parents, and I think obviously being a parent myself now, I'm sure I get people kind of resonating with that. And maybe whether they are parents or want to be parents one day, I'm like you. My motivation is like, yeah, I want Oliver to be proud of me. Obviously, we've got a baby due next month. I want any future kids we have to be proud of me. And I think that it'd be pretty cool that your kids could look at your social media and see that there's mummy or daddy, like, doing some cool shit. And you're doing it for the right reasons. Yes, we want to get paid at the end of the day, but we're doing it in a way where we only get paid if we help people. So it's the best way to get paid, in my opinion. How have you approached, how have you changed your approach to selling? Because I feel like when we first spoke, there wasn't much of like I don't think you really had like a script or a process or anything like that.
mm.
Um, how has that looked? Has it been a bit of a steep learning curve for you? And what does that look like in terms of getting back into like selling to people or maybe selling for the first time?
So sales is something which I had never done before, and
How
no,
come though? Like why not?
because I'd always worked in customer service before, and just even in consultation is I never looked at it as a part of like trying to sell myself,
Yeah.
but even, and I think that one of the biggest objections I get is why is it not in person, why online? So I've tried to, now take the approach, yes, you are selling yourself, but also explaining to people the benefits of being online versus just seeing me in person.
Yep.
Um, that shift has really helped.
I think that for you, it's also you've always been known as like Lily, like the PT, or like they would have seen you in person, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of PTs listen to this. People who do often come to me, but Dan, they want to see me in person. But I think it's just the words you say. Like you could just say, "I'm fully booked in the gym right now. I've got this online program. I think it'll be great for you. Would you be against learning about it?" They say, "No, go for it." And then a lot of it is in your control. And I think my thing for you was always just giving you the power to be like, you need to decide and choose who you sell and what you sell them into. Um, but when it comes to these sales calls, how have you found it now? Like, have you changed your approach? Do you feel more relaxed? Is it still quite scary? Like, just be honest and tell me where your head's at when it comes to the calls.
Yeah, I mean the first a couple of months, honestly, I could feel almost feel my voice shaking, and
Yeah.
especially when we talk about money, like that was the hardest thing is going in, like your high ticket prices rather than just going in with like the cheapest because you're afraid. And I think now what's the worst that can happen? If they say no, then you work backwards. So like I'm just a lot more confident with it, and also I know now that I am a good coach because of the results that I have got from my clients over the last couple of months. So I charge what I charge, and that's the program that you're going to get. So I just know now that within myself that I am a good coach. So it helps being able to sell your programs if you know that it works.
But what would you say to someone then if, let's say they don't have the results yet, right? And there's a bit of like, because at some point everyone starts with no clients, yeah?
Mhm.
At some point I started doing this mentoring stuff, and yes, I'd always done it. So like, I'd always help people, other PTs, and then eventually someone was like, "Oh, I'll pay you," and I was like, "All right, cool." And then it just became a business, and now we're here. What advice would you give to someone who's like, but I don't have 30 clients and I don't have the transformations that you have? In the beginning, what would you advise someone to do in terms of how to have that same conviction and feel like an authority without the results yet? Like, what did you do when you started to kind of hack that process?
So at the beginning, I used my own results. So anybody, that has had a transformation, you can use yourself. And then also, as soon as I joined, I did a 14-day free challenge, and I had a lot of girls sign up for that, and then used the transformation pictures. And just as soon as I got any online clients, I, got their pictures like straight away and asked their permission, and like every week got them to send them. So the actual transformation pictures happened quite quickly, but yeah, the free challenge was the best, and then using your own stuff.
Okay. So you'd say the free challenge. What's the free, let's say, pretend I don't know anything about this. What's the free challenge for anyone listening?
So I did a 14-day free challenge. I took on 10 or 15 girls on the first one, and I basically coached them online for 2 weeks, but they all had the same plan. So they had to be able to train in a gym. And I set them daily tasks, like we did a plank challenge and a squat challenge. And then I got them all on like a group Zoom call as well in those 2 weeks. I coached them through their nutrition, so I gave them all the macros. And at the end of week one, they did their pictures, and then again at the end of week two. So I didn't get pictures from everyone, but out of the 10, I got enough to use as like transformation pictures.
Sick.
And then
So
yeah, just as I got clients, carried on getting clients, I just got more.
So if I'm a new, let's say a PT that wants to go online, you ran your free challenge. The pushback I often get is like, oh, but Dan, what if the group, what if they don't engage in the group, or what if like no one joins? How did you approach that? Because I feel like so much of your success is your mindset. Because for context, when listening, you've done the boxing fight before. You've had a pretty crazy life, maybe for another time. But yeah, where do you get this mindset from in terms of just like attacking things head on? Because even like doing this, recording this, you're like, I know you're feeling nervous, but then as soon as we start, you're just fine. So
Yeah.
what happens? What's the switch that you kind of switch in your head?
I think but now, yeah, like you said, I've done, quite a lot in my time and faced a hell of a lot of challenges. And I think if I can do all of those things, then I can keep going. I almost got to the point now where I'm thinking like there's nothing that I can't give a go. So
Yeah.
I just yes, and that's yeah. It's just any challenges, yeah, that come up, I just think, what's the worst that can happen? You might as well give it a go.
But you must know other personal trainers that they're always talking about growing their business or going online. what do you see it like? Say someone listening, why do you think that why do you think some people just never do it and some people do? Like, if me and you talked about it and we did it, and other people don't, what do you think is missing from them? Like, what's something that they need to look at to get their arse in gear to do the thing? What do you think's stopping them?
I think when you look at Instagram, it seems like there is a hell of a lot of online coaches, and I think people worry about making themselves stand out from everybody else. But the thing is, and what the best thing that I did was unfollow coaches, and all my content is created by me. I don't copy anyone else's because people are like buying into you and your personality, and so everything that I post is my own. And so you don't necessarily have to stand out, but you just have to be yourself and know that what you're doing works. So I think people have this mindset of not wanting to go online, bit of an old school way that, like, how can you coach someone if you're not in person? But like all my clients, they send me their training videos, they still correct their form. They're getting way more than when they did when I was just in person. But yeah, the main thing is I think people are just worried that they won't be able to get clients because they're not standing out. But you don't have to. You just be yourself
Yeah.
and work hard.
Yeah, I think so much of it is that, yeah, the mindset and the approach to working hard. Like, even people, I speak to, it's mental. Like, sometimes people are like, "Oh my God, I really want to grow my business," but I'm like, "Oh, how many hours a day are you willing to give this?" They're like, "Maybe like one or two," and I'm just like, I just can't. For me, my first call was at 6 a.m. Uh, my last call finished at like whatever 8 9 p.m. And I just think like, and look, that's not like a weird brag or anything. That's just each to their own, right? But I just think that if you want what you want and your goals are big, you can't give small effort, right?
Hmm.
And I just definitely feel like there's a lot of people who come into this fitness space and maybe they see the numbers that you hit and other people hit and they think they don't see the bit underneath, right? Have you ever seen that iceberg meme where it's like the iceberg, the tip at the top, and then under the water you see all the stuff that's actually like going on? I think it's that stuff. So let me ask you what it's like to manage being a parent and doing this business. Because yes, you've bought back your time, you do a lot less sessions now, but you're still busy and putting a shift. How do you find that balance? And what have you said to your daughter about when mummy's working? Like, have you had to explain that?
So like at the beginning it was hard because I was still doing all my sessions in the gym. I teach boxing, I teach dance. I'm also a coach for group PT. So I was getting up, I still do, get up at 5 and doing all of the bits I needed to do online, then going and doing a full day's work at the gym, and then picking her up from school, spending that time with her. But then when she was going to bed, then doing the online stuff again. So at the beginning, it was very much, I just did not stop. But you have to do that at the beginning, and then I just, slowly was able to cut back and buy back a bit more time. But it has freed up a lot more time. She does I get up that early so that I do it before she wakes up, and then I do it once she goes to bed so it doesn't affect my time with her. But also, like I've said to her, I promised her that I would take her away on holiday this year, and every time I get a new client, like I tell her, and she's like, yeah, she understands why I do it and how hard I work. So um yeah, you have to just, I had to do everything at the beginning, but you have to do that to get to where you want. I think people don't get up early enough and they just
No.
don't use their time enough. When people say I haven't got enough time, and I think there's not a minute of the day normally where I don't have to be somewhere or doing something.
Yeah. I think also I spoke to someone the other day and they said they were struggling. And I wonder if they're listening. And I was like, "What time do you normally get up?" They're like around 8, half 8. And I'm
Done full
like,
day's work by then.
yeah, right. And I'm like, and again, this is not some weird brag at like everyone's different. Maybe there's things I don't know, but when I did a bit of grilling, I was like, they're young, they're fit, they're healthy, they don't have kids. I was thinking like, if you're ever going to do it now. I used to work as a lifeguard and I used to do shifts from like 6 a.m. till 2 p.m. and I had to be at the pool for like half five to open up. And then sometimes at 2 p.m. they'd say, "Oh, the guy who was going to do 2 till 10 hasn't shown up," and
Mhm.
I'd be like, "Fuck it, sign me up." And I don't know whether I get that work ethic from my dad working long hours or not. I don't really know whether it's like nature or nurture, but I definitely think as a parent, like yourself, I'm very conscious of trying to instill into Oliver and any future kids that like we just work hard and that's just what we do, and people that work hard, you know, live a good, happy life, and it's that's a value I want to instill. So what about you? You're working hard towards what? What's the goal for you? What's the big plan? Just so I know.
So I just want to be in the position where I am I know that down the line I probably will be only online. I do enjoy being in a gym environment and I love working with my clients, but maybe in the position where I only work with a select amount of clients, um, and just financially stable enough to be able to do all the things that I want to do. But like long-term plan, I want to be, I want to have coaches working with me. I want the business to grow. I've come such a long way since joining in August that I'm just hoping, well, I know it'll only get better from here. So,
Love that. So in terms of having people work for you, would that be an so would that mean that you could then buy back some time to spend more time? Do you have any interest in traveling, or is it more time with the with your family? Like how would life be better or different if you had people working for you?
well, it's just at the moment I'm doing absolutely everything, and even just down to the DMs and the content and editing, and as well as everything else, my own training. So yeah, just having people work for me and buying back a bit more time, and even just doing the coaching rather than everything else that comes with it. And just yeah, being able to enjoy to go on holiday and be more financially stable, so I don't have to have any worries, and yeah, spend more time with my daughter.
Sick. All right. Well, thank you for being sharing and being open. Where can the guys go and find out a bit more about you and check out your Instagram and have a little snoop at what you're up to?
Yeah, so you can find me on Instagram, which is Lily underscore the fitness box. Comes from my boxing background. Pink and black is my colours. Yeah, lots of content on there. I'm a competitive powerlifter, so promote strong girls. Yeah, that wanna be strong and be healthy, really.
I love that. So, look, I think for anyone listening, my biggest takeaways would be like, don't you let your kids or don't let your challenges be the reason not to do it. Use them as the motivation to do it, is what I'm hearing. Secondly, I've heard that actually, contrary to what some people think, less PT can actually mean better results. I found that too, so I'm glad we agree. And the other big thing I'd say for you is a lot of it is just resilience and hard work and just if you say you want to achieve big things, like I said, just put in a big effort. If you just want to have a small, cute little business and you only want to work a couple hours a day or a few hours a week, then that's fine if that's what you want. But like if you're like me and Lily on here and we want to have a team and we want to have financial freedom, be able to take our kids on nice holidays and not stress about money, then just make sure your actions are reflective. So yeah, I will end the podcast in a second. Thanks again to Lily for joining. And for anyone listening, you can just catch me on Instagram at Fitness Business Coaching if you want to learn more about joining the program and getting results like Lily. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.